Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. I'm gonna do a market morning update. As you can see, I'm wearing my hat. It's very cold. It's -1 degree. It's all with snow out there. So let's get into the levels. We're gonna look into the 4-hour daily as usual. We're gonna identify what's going on. We've seen some progress in terms of the W bottom on the 4-hour. And now we're starting to see a little bit of the bears stepping in, trying to make this fail, as you will expect. Typically in a W pattern, neckline is where the actual battle occurs. And that's what we are seeing. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the notification bell to get notified every time I put out one of these videos, and write down a comment down below. That is always amazing. 1,000 likes. Can we get there? One day in the bear market? Possibly. We can do it. Let's look into the charts. So on the 4-hour, as you can see in here, we've been talking about a rejection in here, and we say, well, if we take the low in here, possibly we can go into the bottom of the range on the 4-hour that's sitting at 1643. But if we win the battle against the breakout of momentum, which has already happened, it happened at 9 yesterday, and we consolidated around 46.9. We're still not over an RSI of 50, which is considered, to be on the bullish side of the spectrum, but we are still, hanging around here in the area of the breakout. You can see clearly that there is a double bottom, a very special one, because it's a higher low, slightly, at 27.78 versus 26.98. So that's a higher low, higher high. Good. Very difficult to spot. Last night we were saying that people are not seeing the formation of this incoming. They're going to see it already happening. And today it has already happened on the momentum. Let's look at the price and let's see if in the price we got a neckline breakout. So that neckline, I will say, is located at 93. 93, give or take. Some people are going to place it at the previous support at 93.900. Some other traders are going to place it at 93.100, because some people look at the 4-hour, some people at the daily. I look at both. So on the 4-hour, 93.200 is the level I'm talking about. Look at the coincidence. The volume at that level is very slim, right? So you got support at 92, which we are trying to turn into support. Then we got resistance at 96. And in between, there is that vacuum of volume. That is where we need to break out. That is the area that we need to cross ideally and step into the next point of control at 97, and then hopefully into over 100K. This is the beginning of something. There's no promise at all, but it's something that if we continue to monitor, it could evolve into something cool. And we don't want to miss it. So that's the main idea behind chasing these things without necessarily getting too hooked up in the progress and saying, okay, because I spot something, it must be a massive pump that is incoming. No, I certainly don't think that way. There's a ton of resistance coming in. I already mentioned the levels. The reward, if we manage this breakout to play out in a similar way to the one before that managed to get to 70, is around 66 RSI, and that is trading at 99K at the moment. So there is that reward. There is, of course, a more aggressive target of 84, and that's going to put Bitcoin at 115. I've seen a lot of people, at 118, and I've seen a lot of people talking about before entering a bear market to test the 200 MA daily, which is around 110. If we get there, beautiful, because my average long is 101. So even if we test the bear market, I will have that gap of 9K that I can use to take profits. Or to decide what to do. Of course, it's not guaranteed that I want to take profits. I need to see the price. What is it doing there once we get there, if we get there? Now, on the daily, the situation continues to be very delicate because we are below the falling wedge, because we are, building some potential wicks to the downside into global support. You can see it against the red line in there. And if we go into the RSI, How does that look? Well, we've been pinching that 2686. Yesterday, I got it on camera. So if you watch the update in the night, we were testing that. And the day before, a couple of days before, when we went into 89 as well, we test that level, but we are not pinching it. I've been wishing for a pinch and a close below the red line to produce the setup. Watch the video from yesterday. That will be bullish. If you want details on that setup, watch the video from yesterday. On the daily, we need a breakout. And the breakout, at this time, I'm thinking about 32, not 39. That is no longer a level I care. I care about 32. And let me see, where is the reverse RSI? Do I have 32? Because this thing sometimes doesn't save. Yeah, 32.18. That currently daily breakout is 92.6. Okay, so we got more or less a coincidence there, a confluence of RSI saying we need to break out daily there to follow up with the 4-hour breakout. So the 4-hour needs to step in and continue and not fake out like it usually does. So you've been warned. The 4-hour to the upside has been faking out like crazy almost every time. And that's why we are not too excited about seeing the breakout. We're not taking it as a crazy thing. Of course, I entered at 91 price. My goal was to average down 10K lower, and I did it, but I didn't do it because I was FOMOing. I just put the same price and I trim it down 10K, which is phenomenal. And if we need to do that again, we will do it again in demand as we need it. Let's go into fair value gaps. How are we doing in here? Are we creating any vacuum? What am I looking for? I'm looking for anything that tells me that there's more motivation to go down. Now we have a new red fair value gap below the price, and we didn't complete that dense band from 88,500 into 84,600. And for that, there's loads of analysts that say, well, if we break 89, we might go to 84. That's the next band. And we already know that. We don't need them to tell us that. But everybody's thinking about that. In terms of liquidity, I should have done this yesterday. I didn't do it. Let's do it today. I'm going to look at the short-term liquidity, but I'm going to try to zoom in to see really what's at stake at the moment. So we got, yeah, definitely below the price into the 84. It's still bigger than anything on the top. So that means that longs are still defending and they're placing their risk below. So from that point of view, longs are not really helping us. Yesterday on the CPR, we did the perfect test of the second support. The third support is a 74,800. So that is continuing to progress. Support doesn't mean that it's going to hold. It just means that temporarily, for now, we can claim victory on that pinch of 88.4. Nvidia yesterday was trading positively because it closed. The earnings were better than expected by a lot. But we still don't get a breakout on the daily. But we bounce off support. Remember my flag yesterday? So we did what was expected. And in pre-market, we are at 195 versus 186. So if these guys gets into the 200 and it continues up, we could see this sort of continuation on Nvidia. Unless we lose the support of 180. So 200 versus 180 are the levels for me to watch there. Not because I'm trading NVIDIA, but because NVIDIA is going to drag everything else. I mean, what do you expect with an asset of how much? Trillion, whatever. I forgot the precise number. But it's the biggest. And being the biggest is always something, isn't it? Let's look at the order book. Today we have some resistance at the shallow deviations from the price, like the 0 to 5, 0 to 1, 1 to 2. Up until 2%, there is a ton of resistance. Why is that? Because we are in a double bottom that is testing a potential breakout that could happen following with what the RSI already did in here. We already have RSI breakout, and price could follow through with that and break that neckline of 93, give or take. and they are holding that there. They're saying, no, you're not going to take back the previous level. If we do that, we start forming a bullish structure on the 4-hour. If we get around 98, definitely. And the bears are very cocky at this point in time, and they are challenging any single move to the upside. Let's go. Let's see if Monkey Terminal is doing something. There's some support in there. Contrarian to what High Block Capital was saying, we can see at 89 there is 1K, 1K. It's very thin, the order book. There's not a lot going on in terms of orders. Let's have a look at what's going on today. Very quickly, Perplexity is amazing. It summarizes everything so well. So I've got price action and technical levels. I don't care about those. Those are usually just crappy things that other people are saying. Market moving events. We got Nvidia, the earnings. We already covered that. The Fed rate cuts collapsing and plunging 30% down from 98% one go ago. 30%. The rate cut probability. I need to double check that fact. Sometimes there's some hallucinations here. 645 million liquidated across crypto markets with the second pinch of 88. That time that we went into the CPR band, that was a big liquidation. Empty GOX transfer. We need to double check this as a fact because it might be some influencers just creating FUD around here. And sometimes I read this news and then people write in the comments that has already been discarded. It can happen. It can happen. Not my intention to spread FUD, but just reading the news. Strategy Sailor accumulation. There's been some accumulation. Typically effect. It gets bullish in the sentiment. People lift up the spirit, but usually the price dumps after he buys for some reason. There's been some immediate reaction to those events. You can see some charts showing every purchase, and then every time that happens, there's a pullback. Salvador, we covered yesterday. ETF flows have been terrible. The macro context, the stock market did well yesterday with Nvidia, of course, and the dollar strength hit the $100. I covered general markets yesterday, and I covered oil as well. It's been sideways. You can watch my video from yesterday to get insights on oil, crude oil as well. I think the bullish case is if we go now into the 96K and we start challenging 100K. That's the bullish case for now. Realistically speaking, with that 4-hour setup, that's what we can get in the close proximity. I don't know where can we go from there after. And the bearish case is, of course, testing again that CPR band and then teletransporting ourselves in the best scenario into 84 or into 74 in a sharp decline. That is based on my analysis on the monthly chart. Just put a volume profile on the monthly and see a depression of the volume profile. Those levels, together with those fair value gaps located in that area, make it an area very slippery, just like walking in the snow out there today. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the update, and I'll see you in the next one. This is going to go live. I'm going to have later the workshop. Don't miss the workshop. If you are an elite member, we're going to talk about order flow, and we're going to talk about risk management. So everything to do with DCA and the way I do it, the way I manage the leverage. I'm going to cover it at 12 p.m. UK time. That's going to go also public on Friday for free. You can watch it. But if you want to be part, of the small group and make questions and, stop me while I'm doing the workshop and interact with me, bring your own strategies and we can discuss them, then you can become an elite member. The link is in the description. Have a look at the exchanges down there, 2bit, Bybit, and all of them. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next time. Bye-bye.